Welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I am Kelly, and today we're going to do a reading on TXT's Soobin. Since I don't think I've done too many TXT ideal partner stuff, and I feel like it's time. It's past time, right? So let's go ahead and do that. If you have never seen me do an ideal partner reading before, it's an oracle reading that I place kind of some personality archetype cards, and then I'll draw some clarification from my oracle here, second oracle, to figure out why these traits would be good or ideal for today. We're doing it on Soobin, so we're going to look into that. So this is kind of an insight to their personality or what they kind of admire about a partner or would admire in a partner. Sometimes it magnifies less desirable traits in a person. So if you don't like to hear anything negative or problematic maybe about your idols, this is the time to click away. But if you're going to stick around, I will say that, tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not affiliated. I don't know this person. I am purely gauging my thoughts based on what cards come out. So that's how we do this. So if that sounds like something you're into, please stick around. I'm going to shuffle these up a little bit. So I'm going to draw 6 of the archetype cards and then 6 of the other. These cards are a little glossy, so once I lay them down, I'll probably just check to make sure we're not getting any glare. We got 2. Mentor, and then mediator and shadow. Oops. Okay, student and teacher. Oops. Warrior. One more card. Just need one more card. There we go. And Divine Child. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull their clarifications. Get these out of the way. These are my Moonology manifestation cards. They have kind of moon and zodiacal references. So I thought that would be fun. Mentor, new moon in Gemini. Okay. So mediator, full moon in Aquarius. Okay, got full moon in Scorpio. Oops. Well, maybe I should take that because I didn't even shuffle that. That just came out. Okay, so we have last quarter moon in Gemini. Full moon in Gemini. We get a lot of Gemini, so maybe Gemini is relevant to their ideal partner. Or Soobin. I'm not sure what his sign is. I just need one more card. One more card. One, okay, there we go. Last quarter moon in Cancer. Okay. So let's go ahead and start reading these cards. So I have mentor and the light attribute, which is passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. And the new moon in Gemini is think it through. So the partner is someone who takes their time, really is pragmatic, I guess is the word I want to use. The first thing that kind of came here is someone who doesn't really want to have children. I know that's kind of not directly what the card is saying. Or it could just mean someone who doesn't want to have children until like kind of much later in life. Because normally if I see mentor, I want to think that's someone who probably works with children, but to think it through makes me think that there's like a hesitation there. So yeah, maybe he was looking for a partner that isn't, you know, in a rush to have children or kind of like pass on their generational knowledge just yet. And being that that's like the first card, that could be like a serious deal breaker, is that someone who doesn't want to have children young in life. And honestly, for an idol, that kind of makes sense. I think a lot of them are trying to put some of that off until they're a little bit older so they can kind of enjoy that. Again, this is ideal for him in like if he was to take on a partner. This is not saying he does have a partner, but if you were, these would be like things that would be deal breakers or ideal. So yeah, I think not wanting to have kids anytime soon is probably important to him in a partner if he were to be seeking one out. And then we have meditation or meditator in the shadow, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. And we have full moon in Aquarius, which means be real. So he wants someone who is just like blunt and probably brutally honest. He's not a fan of anybody who is kind of out for themselves, which, you know, again, in the idol industry, you're going to meet just a ton of people who are exploitative and want to be around you because you're famous. And I think he's not going to be with anybody he feels would remotely be in it to use him or to be that kind of like user personality. Yeah, he's, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry on that card where it's like, yeah, don't be shady. just don't be shady. Be upfront, be honest. You know, so someone who probably is not directly related to what he does or would gain absolutely no benefit from being around him. Okay, so then we have student in the light. So humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. And then full moon in Scorpio is breathe through the tension. So Soobin is young. I'm going to assume he's still in college. I'm going to assume he's still studying. I know there are a few idols that quit school, but there's a lot of them that, you know, use being an idol to be able to afford, you know, quite a bit of schooling. So, immediately like that tension to me sounds like it's coming from school, coming from the high expectations. So I do think he wants someone who is also, you know, not only a student, but someone who has maybe a more higher end education, something that would be more stressful to go through. So he might be looking for someone who is kind of trying to better themselves or I want to say bring up their like kind of status. Someone who might be looking to be a doctor, might be looking to be a lawyer, someone who, I mean, even as far as being an actor, or someone who is still studying their craft and has to study it for a long time. I think that's what he's looking for. And someone who kind of understands maybe the stress or tension he would also go through, because he's probably still in school as well, and then also is working as an idol and that kind of thing. Like, I think he lives in a high stress environment that he has to always study and always be working at something, and he's going to need someone also who can handle the high stress environment and is probably also doing something similar. We have teacher in the light, so ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom. So we had someone who's a student, and then we had mentor as well. But mentor, I think, related more directly to children, where teacher is about, I think this kind of piggybacks on sharing your skill. And then we have last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. So again, we talked about the tension and breathing through the tension. I think this is also someone teaching him how to handle his stress. Because again, I believe he's in a high stress environment, not only with his idol career, but probably with school as well. And it might be someone who helps breathe kind of some space into that for him, or like breathe some calmness into that, and can kind of teach him how to like not let it bother him. I don't know if he's like a high anxiety kind of person, but it's starting to feel that way in these cards. Someone who doesn't have to worry about their motives, someone who is kind of a high achiever, but also seems to not let it wear them down. And I think he wants someone who's going to also help it kind of relieve his stress as well, and teach him how to keep that stress managed. Again, these are ideal things, so sometimes these things are a bit unrealistic in a partner, but like things, you know, everybody has their like list of things they want in a person, and this is just reads like that kind of list. I don't know why a car drove by my window and I jumped. Okay. Like jump scare. But I do just have like my window, like the curtains cracked, so I guess I couldn't recognize what it was at first. Anyway, so warrior, the trials and tribulations of recording right in front of your window. Warrior is light attribute as strength, skill, discipline, toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. And then we have full moon in Gemini, embrace the flow of life. So again, de-stress, breathe through the tension, clear your mind, go with the flow. And we talked about all this studying, all these expectations, but also not letting it make you, not letting it inflate your ego, right? Like understanding, like, yes, you are fighting hard, you're acquiring all these skills, you want to be a good role model for people, but you don't want it to escalate. Like, you want to stay humble, right? And to know, like, as quickly as you rise up to fame, like, you can also be canceled these days just as fast. So like, kind of knowing that while you have to fight for every step you climb, if things don't work out, don't take that personally, right? Like, don't let your ego tell you that's where you deserved to be, right? You can fight for it, you can work for it, you can try to be as good as you can be, but no, if it doesn't work out, that's not always a reflection of your value and your worth. But also don't assume that you're worth more than other people just because they don't do these things. So this is kind of an interesting combination. But I think it's a healthy mindset to have. Like, what he does is complicated, and he has high expectations on him, and probably of himself, but he's trying not to let it give him an ego. That's good. It's probably what keeps him extremely likable. And like I said, it makes him easily a role model to people he's around, because he does really strive for greatness while still like staying humble. So let's go to Divine Child. And the light is innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. And again, we have a take a breather. Last quarter moon in Cancer. This could mean like finding, again, time for being spiritual, whether that means being religious, going to church, or just taking like that time of personal worship, whatever it is. But it's kind of like a grounding feeling of like someone who still has a connection and a kind of more youthful, I don't want to say pure, but like simple connection with their spiritual self, whatever it may be. And finding kind of like solace when you do, and take that time away to like reground yourself in whatever spiritual religion practice they have. It's kind of almost, instead of finding like your self-worth in what you do and what you make, it's saying find kind of more of your value in your connection and your calmness with whatever higher being or higher purpose you connect with, or he connects with. So I do think there's a lot of reoccurring aspects of him finding his life stressful and wanting someone who can come in and teach him how to, you know, make some time for himself, ground, find more of a spiritual connection with life, and manage all the demands on him, or be someone that when he's in the space with them, that tension kind of can go away. Again, that doesn't mean he's got someone that is doing that for him. I think it's showing that maybe what he's going through, this would be a person that brings the most peace into his life. It seems like that's what he's valuing right now. So could just be that things are busy. So he's looking, or not actively looking, but like again, creating that like list of like things you would look for in a person. And right now they're very much like, I need someone who is just real with me all the time and very chill. That's the big things that come through. So it doesn't sound like he's asking for a whole lot, but that's kind of what I have for his ideal partner. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm in the middle of moving some stuff, so I actually had to go back and dig some of these decks to do this reading out of my box that I had to put everything away in for a little while. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you again next week. Don't forget, you can order readings for yourself on my Etsy, or if you'd like to request more readings like this, you can check out my Ko-fi page and make a donation there. And yeah, so have a great week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.